During our visit to Switzerland in 2022, we took a trip to the capital city of Bern.
Hello. Hello. We're in the city of Bern, Switzerland today, and the reason we came to Bern was it was in Switzerland, had an hour and a half when we're staying, and number two, just a second. Number two, during the pandemic, David and I did some ancestry research, and I discovered that my father's line is from Bern, Switzerland. So here we are. So far it's been a fun day. Bern is we're in the old part, so it's very old. So that's pretty much it from Bern. So we'll talk to you later.
Bern was established in 1191 in a bend in the River Aire. The city became the capital of Switzerland in 1848 and is filled with art and old architecture. Behind the Federal Assembly, known as the Bodenhaus, is a wide promenade that allows you to look down into the valley Aire, where a lot of Bern has expanded into this marvelous residential area. According to legend, the Duke of Zeringen decided to name a new settlement that he formed in the bend of the River Aire after the first animal he killed on his next hunt. This happened to be a bear, and thus the name was Bern, B-A-R-N, which has translated into Bern over the years. This is the front of the Bodenhaus, which sits on Bärenplatz. Bärenplatz, or Bear Square, is this wide street area that has a lot of buildings circling it, including businesses such as Credit Suisse, the Swiss Police Building is nearby, and of course the Federal Assembly. The plaza is aptly named Bear Square because the bear pits where bears were kept by the Duke was in this area. You can see the marvelous architecture here, the ornate tops of the buildings with sculptures and so forth. Bern has a robust public transit system. These buses and streetcars ran pretty much constantly the time we were there. We turned into the old town onto Marktgasse, which is one of the main thoroughfares, heading toward the clock tower called the Seegut. As you walk down these cobbled streets in Bern's old town, the streets are punctuated with these fountains throughout the old town. And many of them are topped by bears and different regalia and so forth. So the fountains themselves are really interesting to see. And then the cobbled streets are surrounded by these red-roofed buildings, with the center of Old Town being the clock tower. Bern's most famous landmark is the Zeitglocke, or the clock tower. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a clock tower that was once the west gate into Old Town. The tower has a mechanism that allows these mechanical figures, including bears and a cocking crow and so forth, to run through a procession about 4 minutes right before the hour. We actually weren't that impressed.
That's more.
From the clock tower, as you continue on, you're on Kramgrasse. This marks the main axis of Bern's early medieval town. It is lined with handsome historic buildings fronted by long arcades, and there are three fountains. This first fountain is known as Zagrenbrunnen, or Bear in Armor, which is holding the standard of the original Duke of Zagrenan. As you continue walking down the street, there are lots of shops and restaurants that line these lower levels of these buildings that you can pop in and get something to eat or just enjoy the atmosphere outside there. This is the second fountain, and look at the gorgeous work on the building behind it. That fountain was a tribute to Samson killing the lion. A street over from Kramgrasse is Münstergasse and Münsterplatz. This is the home of Bern's Cathedral, Münster St. Vinzenz. This marvelous German-influenced late Gothic style cathedral was built in 1421 but wasn't completely finished until 1893 when the spire was added. The plaza also has one of its own fountains, which appears to be holding the Ten Commandments. The cathedral itself's main draw is this ornate relief over the door that is the depiction of Armageddon. We did go in the church, however, you're not allowed to take video photography in there, and the outside was more spectacular than the inside, so we just took one picture. From the cathedral, we wandered back down to Trickenfeld Brook, which is the bridge over the River Aire on the side by the Bodenhaus. You can get marvelous views back up at the Bodenhaus, and you can walk up and walk along that wide veranda that follows along the river's edge on the cliff there and see tributes to the bears for which the city is named. We truly enjoyed Bern. It's a neat place to go.